Hey there everyone, Captain Beards here, and we did it. We got Dark Ether, or Dark Aether, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, this is awesome. Nah, I'm just kidding, guys. No, but we're going to go over Plague Diamonds for the tactical rifles. Let's get it. Now, you're probably wondering, Beards, but you have Dark Ether on the screen, right? Well, that's because there's currently a bug right now, and it's pretty much giving you Dark Ether a little bit earlier than you're supposed to. Like, I still have to do the light machine guns, the pistols, the shotguns, and the launchers. So I still have 4 left to get diamond on before I'm officially going to unlock this. I didn't do a glitch, I didn't do a bug, I didn't cheat or any of that stuff. It just, the game automatically gave it to me. Now, am I going to finish those guns still? Heck yes. And do I recommend everybody else do the same? Yes. If you're using glitches, if you're using cheats, or if you're using any of these means to get this camo, understand that Treyarch will eventually patch that and you won't have the camo. So you might as well do the grind. So that being said, I am still doing the grind and I am still working my challenges, but I just wanted to, be a little clown. Anyway, so we got the Plague Diamond for the tactical rifles, which are by far my favorite guns in the game. Unfortunately, the M16 and AUG are getting a nerf. Now, 2 of the guns are quite easy to get done when it comes to the tactical rifles, and 2 of them are quite a nuisance. But first things we're going to do is we're actually going to go over the perks, because I feel like with the tac rifles, I think the perks are actually really important, and I can't stress this enough. Now, going into skills, obviously with weapon classes, you want to make sure you try to get the weapon class. You want to try to get everything maxed, especially what you're working on. So if I'm going to do shotguns next, I want to make sure my shotguns are maxed out. If I'm going to do pistols, I'm going to make sure my pistols are maxed out. So going into tactical rifles, it's very important that you upgrade this, because you're going to increase your long shot damage by 10%. You really want to keep your range with the tactical rifles just because they are ranged weapons. Increase critical damage by 10%, which is extra headshot damage, which is going to tie into a certain perk that you're definitely going to want to use for the tactical rifles, and then unlock 3 additional attachments, which just is helpful. Now, in field upgrades, I always recommend Ring of Fire. I know some people say Aether Shroud, especially to escape. Yes, it's good to escape, it's good to get away and all that other stuff. But I feel like the damage output, especially in the higher waves, the damage output that you can get with Ring of Fire is just insane, especially with attack rifles too, because attack rifles are just underneath the sniper. So you can be wave 40 and literally demolish and shred bosses with Ring of Fire and attack rifle. It's insane. So obviously you got to train right, you got to set yourself up right, and then do it. But yeah, and the cool thing about Ring of Fire, especially in the higher waves, is once you get to the higher waves, I think it's like about wave 20-ish, your Ring of Fire instantly kills zombies that enters it. So you can initially start a very good train, get nice and far, hit the Ring of Fire, turn around, start obliterating enemies outside of your ring, and any enemies that come inside are going to die. So I always recommend Ring of Fire. And talking about the most important perks here, which is, I gotta say, the most important perk when it comes to tac rifles is going to be Deadshot Daiquiri. And this is going to be for pretty much every gun, but tac rifles are very, very huge with tac rifles, just because Deadshot Daiquiri gives you increased headshot damage. Once you upgrade it once, deals 100% extra critical damage if an enemy is at full health, and most of the time you're going to try to headshot the enemy, so doing that 100% extra critical damage on top of whatever the tac rifle gives you, on top of your Ring of Fire, yeah, you're destroying everything at every round with this perk. Trust me on that. So my prioritization when it comes to perks when I'm doing the attack rifles is I go stamina up first. I always like to go stamina up because I always try to get speed, so that way I'm building a lot of distance with my trains. And then I go Deadshot Daiquiri. And you guys, if you guys didn't know this, I don't really go after Juggernaut anymore when it comes to the perk machine, because I always do the Easter egg, the Coffin Dance Easter egg, and I get a free Juggernaut in there anyway, so I figure I might as well not buy it and waste money anymore. So that's pretty much my go-to. Stamina up, Deadshot Daiquiri, and then I go with Speed Cola and Juggernaut from the Easter egg. I never, ever, ever I'll get Quick Revive if I'm running with a teammate, but I never get Elemental Pop. And the reason why I don't get Elemental Pop is because then there's certain effects that can take place, and sometimes you don't get credit for your kills and stuff like that. For instance, flame bullets, or if you brain, if you take over a zombie's brain and he kills another zombie, yeah, that could just ruin your train. It could also ruin your unlocks for your guns and stuff like that. So That's why I never ever grab elemental pop. And yeah, that's pretty much it for ammo mods. You know, I upgraded them, but like I said, I try not to run those just because, yeah, I don't trust the game. Going into the guns now. Alright, so let's talk about the two hardest ones first, which are going to be the Type 63 and the DMR 14. The reason why these are the two hardest ones is because they are single fire guns. They're semi-auto guns. That means you have to continuously click the button, which is not fun, especially in zombies when there's hundreds and hundreds of zombies coming at you. It's just quite a nuisance. But going over the tac rifles here, going over the Type, was it 95, 65, 63? Man, I've been saying Type 95. Anyways, Type 63 here. Let's go ahead and put on the camo first because, you know, we got Darky. No, I'm kidding. We got the Plague Diamond here. So the attachments are going to be pretty much the same when it comes to all of my tac rifles, just like it is with all of my other guns. But I always say this, and I'll say it again. Attachments is completely preference, and it's completely up to you. What you want to run on your gun is completely up to you. I got to the point where I try to make my gun look as ugly as possible just so I can have fun with the game when I'm going after these challenges, because these challenges can be quite boring to grind. And so yeah, I like to do silly stuff with my guns. But anyways, going after the optic first, you're definitely going to want to put an optic on your gun. You can pretty much put any optic that you like. I personally prefer the Vision Tech 2x on my tac rifles. The reason why is because they have a lot more accuracy than the other guns, so I feel like I can really hit the headshots with them. Now, if I'm not going with the Vision Tech, but if I do go with the Vision Tech for the reticle, I love to use this reticle right here. This reticle right here, I think this is the best reticle in the game, if I'm honestly going to say. The reason why is you're probably like, but there's nothing in the center, BEARDZ. There is. In the game, you'll see a little green dot in the center, which I think is super clean and super nice, and it makes your shots super accurate. So I always go with this one. Whether you do it on multiplayer side or zombie side, it doesn't really matter. But I always go with that one when it comes to my 2x. Doesn't matter what gun it is. Now, another sight I could recommend too is definitely the Hawksmoor, just because it's wider, so it gives you that field of view that you really can manage and use, and it doesn't zoom in as much as that 2x. And for the Hawksmoor or any other site that can use it, I love running, go to my reticles here, I love running the Pit Boss. The Pit Boss is my favorite reticle in the game, whether it's multiplayer or it's in zombies, just because, like I said before, it gives you that box, and in that box you can literally see the zombies' faces, so you know exactly when to shoot, where to shoot and stuff, and it's so easy to line up shots and stuff like that. Whereas some of these other reticles can cover the zombie's face and the body, so you end up mixing up shots where you get body kills when you're really trying to go after those headshots. So I absolutely love the Pit Boss, but that's completely preference too. Alright, next is going to be the muzzle. For the muzzle, pretty much you can go anything you want. I do not recommend running the groove silencer or grow silencer, whatever. I don't recommend running this on any gun ever in the entire game until they do something with it, because this makes your guns shoot pebbles. Like, it says it decreases bullet velocity, but for some reason when I put it on my guns, it absolutely destroys them. It like cuts the balls off the guns. So yeah, I don't recommend running that on any gun ever. I like the KGB Eliminator. This is probably one of my favorites, especially with that vertical recoil control being so high that you know you can really spam your shots, especially when it comes to the DMR and this Type 63. Yeah. Anyways, so I really like that one, and you're gonna get increased equipment drop rate. And then the Spasness is my go-to too. This one I actually choose. I choose this one over this one just because I'm losing speed when it comes to this one, and I get that increased horizontal recoil control. Most importantly, I get 25% vertical recoil control with this, so I can really spam my shots, and it's just tremendous what I can do with this thing. So that is my pretty much go-to, which is a Spasnets compensator. All right, no, next is the barrel. All right, so for the barrel, I always go with pretty much the final one, which is going to be the Task Force. I feel like when I've used all these before quite extensively, and honestly, I feel like the final one is always the best one when it comes to every single gun. Even though it says it does crazy amounts of crap to your recoils and stuff like that, I feel like it kind of makes up for it because you get that damage. which is pretty nice. Now, I think there is a bug in the game currently where it says effective damage range, and then it says effective damage range and bullet velocity. I think what it means to actually say is damage increase 9%, and then effective damage range plus 100%. So I believe there is a damage increase there, especially when you read the description here, which is to improve bullet speed, range, and damage. So you are getting increased damage, which is pretty nice. That's why I always try to run the task force. If you can't run the task force, another strong one to run would be anything with fire rate, especially when it comes to the type and the DMR. So the titanium, can't talk. Effective, you got the increased fire rate, which is pretty nice. You're going to lose effective damage range, but that really doesn't matter. Zombies are pretty fast. They're going to catch up to you at a fast rate, so you don't really need damage range as much, but fire rate is super nice because then you could turn on people and literally just beam their faces to death. So nice one, but like I said, I always try to go with the attack force. Next is the body. For the body, this is very subjective onto what you choose. I never try to hip fire unless I absolutely have to, because I try to maximize my critical hits, which are my headshots. So I avoid hip fires as much as possible. So I never ever use the last one unless I'm just being silly. But I'm losing sprint to fire time. I'm losing ADS time, so I never try to use the last one. The one I always go with is the mounted flashlight. You're gonna get increased salvage drop rate, which is very important for upgrading your guns very quickly. On top of that, there is no disadvantages to using this one, so I always go with that one. But like I said, I like to be silly, so I run the last one just for Hollis, because I'm also getting increased salvage drop rate with that too. So, do I think there's a difference? I know some people will ask, oh, so do I get more salvage from this one than I do with this one? Honestly, I don't think so. I've used them both extensively. I mean, I've been grinding beyond grinding. And I can honestly say I see zero difference in the salvage I get between these two. I think they're literally the same, which I think is terrible. Trey needs to do something about that. Next on the list is your grip. Now, my go-to grip has always been the second to last one. I never like to go with the last one because I feel like it's just contradicting. You're going to lose a lot of movement speed. You're going to lose a lot of speed in general, but you're getting sprinting moving speed and horizontal recoil control, which I think is the stupidest thing in the world. I think the second to last one on all of the guns is super good because you get crazy vertical recoil control. You get crazy horizontal recoil control. You lose some shooting movement speed, but the recoil control is absolutely huge when it comes to these guns. And I'll show you. Let me go ahead over to the M16 real quick so I can show you guys what I mean by this one is the Underbarrel here. So again, this has the same thing, it's just a different name. So I always go with the Field Agent foregrip because, like I said, that recoil control is crazy that you get with that, and I just feel like it's a million times better than that last one. I don't know why you would use the last one, but teach his own. All right, next on the list is the magazine size. You know my things with this. I always go with the biggest size possible. If you do not have a big size, if you don't have the final one, then don't go with the final one. If you can use a 35, use the 35 round. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, the reason why I say go with the biggest one, a lot of people say, but BEARDZ, you're going to lose ADS, you're going to lose reload quickness. That doesn't matter. As soon as you get speed cola, you're pretty much set to go. You're going to reload your gun in a heartbeat, and you're good to go. So I would not stress about, the disadvantages of magazine size. Instead, always use the biggest size. Don't go with tape mags. Don't go with the mag clip. Yes, you reload faster with those, but guess what? Like I said, you don't need reload faster because you're going to get speed cola. So always go with the biggest monster you can possibly put on. Handle, I always go with the final one once I unlock it, but my go-to is always ADS time. So start with the speed tape. I skip the next two for every gun, and then I go with the next one, which is going to be ADS and then flinch resistance. And then as soon as I unlock the serpent wrap, then I go with that. And then as soon as I unlock the final one, I always go with that one. I'm always going after ADS speed, which I think is very important, especially in zombies, when you're trying to turn and snap on people, which I think is huge. And last on the list is going to be the stock. Now for the stock, I like going with no stock. I like going with no stock just because you unlock it quite quickly, or you can go with wire stock if you don't have no stock. I go with no stock because you unlock it quite quickly, and it allows you to just sprint and shoot at a much quicker rate. Now, like I said, I don't like to hip fire, so hip fire actually doesn't really bother me. but I do like to sprint and shoot very fast. I like to set up my trains as quickly as possible, then turn and shoot and go. So having no stock really, really helps with that. When you do unlock it though, you can go with the KGB pad just because you're going to get the same effects as no stock. Yes, you're going to lose more hip fire accuracy, but you're going to get the same effects as no stock with the sprint to fire time, but you're also going to get aim, walking, movement speed plus 40%, which is freaking huge, especially when you're doing trains, especially when you have stamina up and you're backpedaling. You're going to be moving super fast and shooting, and it's just crazy. So that is pretty much my go-to setup for all of my guns. And lastly, let's talk about the challenges, the camo challenges. Now, I am going to be doing an in-depth guide on each of these challenges and going over the best way to get these done, because pretty much they're very simplistic to get. Most of them are very simplistic to get, and they're the easiest things in the world. But I think if I explain it a little bit more, probably show a couple gameplay clips, I think that'll help people out even more. So I'm definitely going to be doing videos on each individual challenge here. But until then, let me get these guides done first, which I should be done with them fairly soon. So going over the first camo challenges, which is 2,500 kills. Then we got 2,500 critical hits, which is headshots. And then 2,500 pack-a-punch kills. Now, just like I said before with submachine guns and the assault rifles and the sniper rifles, what you're going to want to do is by round 5, round 6, you're going to have the pack-a-punch turned on. You want to get your gun pack-a-punch as soon as possible. Then with the pack-a-punch turned on and your gun pack-a-punch, make sure you activate the Easter egg. The reason why you want to activate the Easter egg is so that way you get that free Juggernaut, so you don't have to waste your money on Juggernaut. So by round 6, by round 7, your gun should be pack-a-punched and you should have a free Juggernaut, which is beautiful. You're setting yourself up for the rest of the game. Next on the list is from round 1. I cannot stress this enough because I see people make this mistake continuously. From round 1, go after headshots. I can't tell you how many times I see Billy has 400 kills, but Billy only has 50 headshots. Why, Billy? Why? Don't do that. No. Instead, from round 1, prioritize headshots. Prioritize headshots, especially during the early rounds when the zombies are very slow, so you can easily line up your shots. Once you get to the point where you get to the heavier rounds, about round 15, that's when the zombie starts moving a little faster. That's when you start your trains, and that's when you're not too concerned, because during your trains, you're actually setting up piles of zombies, which gives you some of your other challenges, which we're going to talk about here. Get 10 kills rapidly 10 times, so that is super easy. If you start your trains, you can start, pretty much you can get this one done starting from about wave 3. Because during wave 3, you're going to get probably like 10 zombies. So what you do is let all the zombies spawn in the map in the spawn room, pile them up in that spawn room, and then literally just turn and just headshot them all. Boom. You're going to start, you're going to beam this challenge out of the way. And then you got get 3 or more critical hit kills rapidly. While you're doing this challenge, you're actually getting that challenge done too, because you're going after headshots. So you're literally killing 2 challenges at one time. And then last on the list is get 20 or more consecutive kills with the weapon without getting hit 10 times, which is super easy because while you're getting these 2 done, you're setting up your trains, you're getting kills. This challenge starts from wave 1 because all you have to do is just not get hit. That's it. Just don't get hit. Set up your trains, be mindful of your surroundings, continuously look at that map for that UAV, and you'll get these done fairly soon. Now, working on these challenges, you're also getting the 3 heavy hitters done, which are these 3 right here, which are absolutely huge. And all I can say for these 3 heavy hitters, which is 2,500 kills, start your trains, play long rounds. Now, one thing that can help you with this is actually doing the 20 rounds of zombies, because during the 20 rounds of zombies, the rounds move fairly quickly and you get a lot of zombies to spawn. Now, I don't really run this one anymore just because you are with 3 other random players, so people are taking kills and all that stuff like that, and which gets really annoying. So I prefer to run a private with poise or a private with a friend, just so that way I can really maximize how many zombies spawn on the map. Because when doing it solos, it's kind of terrible. So if I'm being honest with you, solos is not really good for camo challenges. But anyways, going on to the final challenge, which I think is the hardest challenge in the game, which is 15 Elite Eliminations. I'm going to have a video on this today on the Elite Eliminations, on the Elites and the spawns. I'm going to tell you this right now. Do not try to do this challenge in solo. Don't do it. don't do it. I was playing like a 3-hour session last night, and I got to wave like 67, 68. I don't know, because my brain was fried. But I got to like wave 68, and I still didn't have 15 elite eliminations done on one gun. Yeah, think about that. Think about that. But when you play in the 20 round mode with 3 other players, if you do happen to shoot the boss, what you do is for the 20 round mode, you shoot the boss, and then when the boss splits, you shoot each side, and then it doesn't matter who kills the boss, you still get credit for the kill. So that is one very important tip I can give for people that are trying to get this challenge done super fast that don't have a buddy. Now, if you have a buddy, you can get this challenge done even faster, because if you have a buddy, you and a buddy go into a map. Now, the buddy can go AFK or the buddy can play. It doesn't matter. Try to get the pack-a-punch turned on by round 5, 6. And then by that time, you're going to get boss spawns. When you get boss spawns, you usually, I think the first round, it only gives you like 1, and then the next time it gives you like 2. And from there on out, you're going to get 2 bosses, and it's a consistency. It's like every like 3 rounds or every 2 rounds or every 4 rounds. So it's like within that frame, and then when you get to the later rounds, you start getting 3 bosses at a time. And I got to the point where Poise, I was playing with Poise, my wife, and by round 40, I was getting 4 bosses, which never happened to me in a solo at wave 67. Wave 67, I got 2 bosses. So yeah. 4 bosses. So if you want to get the Maniac challenge done, or if you want to get the Elite challenge done quickly, yeah, I would say pair up with a buddy, or definitely do the 20 rounds. Anyways, guys, that was a mouthful. Anyways, I hope that video helped you on the tactical rifles. These are pretty fun. I would say the DMR and the Type 63 are definitely the ones that took me pretty much the longest, just because they are semi-autos. And the M16 and the AUG just shred, just absolutely shred. And the thing about it is, like, they do massive amounts of damage, especially once you pack-a-punch them and stuff like that, that any rounds they're literally melting. So you don't have to worry too much about these 2 guns. But the other 2, yeah, you have to be very precise with them. Anyways, I hope that helped you. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please comment down below and let me know. Guys, also press that subscribe button, because I'm going to have more content for you. We're still not done yet. We got light machine guns, pistols, shotguns, and launchers, and then the knife. And yeah, so hopefully I can get that done fairly soon. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, guys, stay positive. Peace out.